You're watching Leafs Morning Take with host Nick Alberga and former NHLer Jay Rosehill. The show starts now.
Finally, and I mean finally, we have something to talk about here as we get going here on the Friday edition of Leafs Morning Take. Don't adjust your sets. That's not Jay Rosehill. That's not Dave Pagnotta. That's not Carter Hutt. It's producer Vic Polatian with yours truly, Nick Alberga, here on the Friday edition, brought to you by Bet365. Vicky boy, how you feeling on this frisky Friday? I was going to call the show.
I'm a little nervous. I'm scared.
Are you?
I don't think we've ever done this, just you and I. Have we, Nick? I've done this with Zach a few times. But yeah, never you and me.
I think you're sort of downgrading because I've seen you all over the sheet with Jeff Merrick this week, and now you got to work with me. Like Merrick's headed for the Hall of Fame of broadcasting, and then you got Nick Alberga, who's a glorified amateur. As you see on my background, great of you to spend some time with me today, and we actually have something to talk about. But first, I got to tell you about our charity partner this season over at Sick Kids. Want to make sure that your question or comment gets on the show. Hit us up with a super chat. Proceeds from our super chat will go to Sick Kids, ranked the #1 research-intensive children's hospital in Canada and third in the world. So, Vic, something actually went down on Thursday night. Ryan Reaves, now a member of the San Jose Sharks. How much did that surprise you, firstly?
Well, you kind of called it on the show yesterday. You talked about it with Dave, thinking that he might have played his last game, just how open he was and how much he talked about Mitch and how much he helped him move into his new place, took him out to dinner, took him out to lunch. I mean, you kind of called it yesterday, so I wasn't too surprised. I was a little surprised at how quickly it I mean, you brought it up and it happened like 6 hours later, almost like you had some inside info. I don't know if you did.
I didn't, but I won't lie, and I've been watching too much Love Island UK. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm buzzing today. I can't for the life of me comprehend how Brad Treliving was able to trade a 38-year-old who doesn't play anymore, who's a tough guy, an enforcer, way past his time, who really doesn't provide you much. Like, I love Ryan Reaves, but the writing has been on the wall for a long period of time. He traded him, didn't have to give up a pick, and got a 24-year-old, project who can move the puck on the blue line, and Henry Thrun, who's going to be an 8-9 guy, probably in the AHL. But that's a masterclass, if you ask me. And
saved cap space on top of it. Saved $300,000 in cap space, which is insane. He kind of, it's funny. I tried to Google Henry Thrun. I can't say I knew much about him. And you type in Henry TH and you get Henry the Eighth coming up before Henry Thrun pops up. But he kind of reminded me of the Benoit acquisition, where you get a defensive D-man from a horrible team, and obviously, like, everyone's looking at the analytics. Oh, this guy sucks. He can't do anything. He's a minus player. But then you bring him into a better system and a better structure and a better teammates and better coaching, better goaltending. And I don't know, maybe he can turn into something like Benoit did, because I was not expecting anything from Benoit. And here we are.
Dash 23 for Henry Thrun last year, a 2019 fourth rounder, played 60 games, 2 goals, 10 assists. And you're right, the Leafs saved roughly $350K in cap space. And I just felt like the writing was on the wall a bit. Just to get to your comment on Thrun, I'm not going to read too much into this. I think this is more about trading Ryan Reaves' contract than it is actually acquiring an asset of substance, with all due respect to the Thrun family, of course. But he is a project. I don't foresee him starting the year with the Maple Leafs unless they trade a defenseman. Myers goes in your top 6 and Thrun's maybe your 7th. But I specifically don't see that. I think from the Reaves perspective, and as we talked about, I brought it up earlier on, just the commentary, even in the last couple of days, was a bit bizarre. He goes in the Cam and Strick podcast. He talks about how, he sold Mitch Marner, took him for dinner in Vegas. Like, it was just weird practice for a guy who's on another team. I don't care if you're best friends with the guy. I don't think I would ever openly admit to that. So you got the sense something else was up. And then the way he bragged them up, the timing is interesting for me. Like, minutes later, see you later. You're off to one of the worst teams in hockey.
Yeah, I mean, I know social media is not the great place to gauge fan interest, fan speculation, fan stuff like that. But I saw a lot of this is Brad Treliving sending a message. Do you think he was sending a message with this?
I don't think so.
Like, Reaves said something about wanting to win a cup more than anything, and you ship him off to San Jose. right after he, kind of bigs up the guy that just left. He shit on our fan base the whole way through. I mean, I do hope that he was sending a message, because I wish the Leafs would operate more in that Vegas sense of where, they're cutthroat. They're, what's the word we always use to describe the Vegas Golden Knights management? They're ruthless. I wish Brad Treliving would operate more like that. And I do hope that he was sending a message, even if he wasn't.
Yeah, I felt that way. I just like to think they're not that petty. Honestly, this is more, for me at least, about 9-12. That's the amount of games Ryan Reaves has played in the NHL. I traded a couple texts with him last night, wished him luck in San Jose. I think he's going to come on this pod next week. But I think the 1,000 game plateau is on the periphery. It's on the radar. He needs 88 more by my math. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong there. But who's going to give him that chance to play like every night? I mean, there's probably select amount of teams. So I think this is actually Leafs doing good by Ryan Reaves and dealing him to a team like San Jose, where he could be sort of quote unquote the protector to the Celebrinis, the Eklunds of the world, and actually play on a nightly basis, as opposed to Toronto. I mean, they just doubled up and they got Michael Pezzetta. I thought the writing was on the wall there too.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about that. But his comments actually pissed me off, as you know, in our group chat. Yeah. I was pissed off because Leaf fans are a lot of things. We're passionate. We're a little bit crazy sometimes. Sure, we're over the top a lot, but we're not fucking stupid. And for him to say that Mitch Marner was getting heat because he's from here is absolutely ridiculous to me as a Leaf fan. To tell me that I'm bashing a guy because he's from my hometown. If anything, we were rooting for him even harder. And I think Mitch put internal pressure on himself because he's from here. That has nothing to do with how I felt about him or how the guys in the chat, how JS in the chat felt about him. That's internal. We're rooting for the guy. And to tell me that, oh, Leaf fans were too hard on the guy, that's bullshit. And I think he thinks we're stupid. We're not Golden Knights fans here. We're Leaf fans. We've been through it all. We've seen it all.
I know you're fired up about that. I understand. And all I could think about, seeing and hearing those comments from the Cam and Strick podcast the other day was John Tavares, who is from my hometown of Oakville, Ontario. And don't really look at Tavares that way at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I look at him more of a guy who took a discount to stay. I know the original contract wasn't great, but I mean, he sort of lived up to his end of the bargain, came over from the New York Islanders, and I could not agree more. I thought Reaves missed the mark completely on his analysis of why people despise Mitch Marner. They despise Mitch Marner, because of the conduct off the ice with the whole family situation, his father, just the way he works with the media, like the responses, like the gods comment, but then more so on the ice when you get to game 6 and 7. I think he has 6 apples, no goals in 18 career game 6s and 7s. And I mean, you can say this across the board, but when this team needed Mitch Marner the most, he was nowhere to be found. And I think that's in lies sort of the answer as to why people are just moving on from Mitch Marner.
Yeah, we love our hometown guys. We love our guy. We embrace the hometown. We're trying to get one from Edmonton to come over here in a second.
You're right, yeah.
And we love it. And it just didn't make sense to me, especially because Revo, I think if he had just left quietly, he would have left a great mark on this team. The fans, I think, loved him. Even during the playoffs, when you and I thought maybe it wouldn't be the best idea to play this guy, our entire chat was buzzing. Get Reaves in the lineup. Get Reaves in the lineup. He had a lot of support here. When he first signed here, a 3-year deal, I hated it. Year 1, I loved. And then year 2, for some reason, he stopped fighting. And I was like, what is exactly your role here? And they waived him, and I felt bad. I was like, fuck, I kind of liked having him there just as a presence. But now, I don't know. I've seen a lot of good riddance comments, and I think I'm starting to fall more into that boat. Good riddance.
Fair enough. It really did have that Vince Carter I'm not dunking feel anymore. And when we get Revo on next week, I got to ask him about that, because for a guy who that's his service, that's his craft, to drop the gloves, and he wasn't dropping the gloves. I wonder if that came from management or the coach, or he just couldn't pick his bouts. He couldn't find his fight. The other thing I would bring up that I actually like about moving a guy like Ryan Reaves, aside from the obvious, moving him out, is I think it's been like a country club type feel with this room, where there's no repercussions for your actions. And I know it's one thing to talk about Reaves on the ice, but I think he meant a lot in that room. I like the fact that they're rocking the boat. I mean, the first one, Mitch Marner, he was beloved. All the guys love him as far as we know. Ryan Reaves was a big presence in that room. You take him out, I think you have to establish a level of fear. I don't know if you want to use another word, but expectation that if you fail, if you don't get to where the projections are, there's going to be repercussions. So from that aspect, I like them plucking away, a figure in that locker room in Ryan Reaves. I think it's a positive.
That's a good point. I mean, we talked a lot about culture change, and then you take one guy out of the room. I don't know if that's...
This is a culture change.
Yeah, this is culture change. You're right. And this is one of the guys I think that was a vibes guy as well. Like, they're removing the vibes guys. I think they want more of a business type of attitude. I mean, obviously Reaves is intense. He's an intense competitor. I'm not knocking the intensity on the ice. But I do feel like I've heard that he's more like a party guy. He gets the guys going. He calls people over, has the parties at his place. So getting another vibes guy out of the room, maybe they're looking for more of a business-like approach in the dressing room.
Definitely. So Ryan Reaves, now a member of the San Jose Sharks. And again, Rosie and I got together for a quick hitter video last night to break it down. Check it out over at the Leafs Nation 401. By the way, remaining cap space now over $5 million, $5,333,081 per Puckpedia. What are they going to cook up, Producer Vic? That's my question here. What's Brad Tree living up to, man?
I wonder if we see that Roslovic signing today. Yeah, we were talking. It seemed like Roslovic was waiting on a few pieces to move before he actually signed his contract. I actually ran into DP at the baseball game the other day. We were talking about that a little bit. And I said, they have so much cap space. Why not just sign him now? And the way he put it is, you never want to be under pressure to make a move and dealing from a position of weakness. So if you have Kampf locked in, you have Yarncroc locked in, you have Reaves locked in, and you add a Roslovic, now you have too many forwards, and now you're desperate to make a move, whereas you're dealing from a position of weakness. So that's how Dave kind of explained that situation to me. So now, I mean, you move out a body, you bring a body in, you're less, I don't know, in a rush to make a move. So
yeah,
I could see Roslovic. Yeah, it does. And I didn't think about it that way at all.
Yeah, because I think to your point and to Dave's point, so let's say you bring in a Roslovic, but then like Reaves is still on your roster, Yarncroc, all those guys you mentioned, teams are going to see that and be like, well, you got to move a body. We see it with your roster per Puckpedia, of course. And then they're not going to give you as much. Like, again, I'm still stunned we're sitting here and they actually got something of substance for Ryan Reaves and save money on the cap. I just thought it was an excellent job. From the San Jose perspective, I really don't see it. I have been wondering a bit about Mike Greer and the job he's done in some of the transactions he's put together. Even in the last couple of weeks alone, it's been really, really bizarre. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah. Who did they add? They added Orlov, though, didn't they? On the left side?
They got Orlov. Like, apparently they have only one defenseman under contract after this coming season. That's Dmitry Orlov.
Well, look at that. Macklin Celebrini must be so excited. I don't know. I don't see San Jose taking a step this year either. I don't know what it is. Maybe he's in as a protector. Maybe he's in as a leadership role for those younger guys because they have a really, really young roster. So I guess it makes sense in that sense, but I don't know.
Only time will tell on that front, Vicky boy. Baseball fans, if you love the Jays or just can't get enough of big league ball, check out the 6-Inning Stretch, the brand new podcast from the Nation Network, hosted by Lindsey Dunn and 3-time MLB All-Star Whit Merrifield. It's your weekly dose of insider stories, unfiltered takes, exclusive interviews, and all the biggest headlines from around the majors. New episodes drop every Wednesday, so like, follow, and subscribe to the 6-Inning Stretch wherever you get your podcasts or watch full episodes on the Blue Jays Nation YouTube channel. By the way, I didn't tell you this. On Saturday, you know who I had drinks with?
Who?
Yusei Kikuchi's translator. How fucking random is that, dude? What a beauty he was.
How did that happen?
How bizarre. So the Angels were in town last weekend, and one of my buddies, Josh, shout out to Josh. I know his old man watches this show as well. he's buddies with Kikuchi's translator from ball back in the day. I think they both played elite together, or just know each other from the baseball world, and they keep in touch. And he's like, you want to come out and meet Kikuchi's translator? And I said, sure. I think his story's so cool. I'm not going to reveal too much about it, but he's Yusei Kikuchi's translator. And I'm so disappointed. I wanted to ask him about the whole Shohei Ohtani thing, because I don't know if you remember, there was this whole story that came out. Kikuchi and his team were taking Shohei and his team out for dinner.
Yeah,
never happened, but
that.
I thought it was one of the randomest things I've ever done in my life in the last 5 years, was have a couple of cocktails with Yusei Kikuchi's translator. He was a beauty, by the way. So
are you friends though? Like, can you text him?
We're acquaintances. I don't have his number or anything, but he was a good dude, man. He was telling me about life in California, and obviously, you know, being a big baseball guy, I was asking about Mike Trout, same birthday as me, August 7th. I love Mike Trout, you know, working in the majors.
You have the best birthday.
It's pretty good.
87.
Yeah, it's weird. Same birthday as Crosby, same as Mike Trout, DeMar DeRozan. We got to run here because our guest is not fucking around today. He is coming up in mere seconds at the Leafs Nation 401 on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leafs Want to Take wherever you find your podcasts, and make sure to leave us a 5-star review. Also, don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com as we go now to the beautiful country of Portugal and bring in the birthday boy himself. We just talked about birthdays. It's Zack Phillips' birthday. Filatov, happy birthday. How are we living out in Portugal right now?
We're burnt. That's how we're doing right now. So burnt, but it's sick. This is what I got.
Oh, sweet.
This is the view right now that I'm dealing with.
So the biggest question I can ask you, because I had you on the show a couple weeks back, and I was like, "How you feeling about Europe?" I'm like, "You're like lukewarm on it." You're like, "I have sun here." Do you feel different now about Europe now that you've been there?
Yeah, but like this trip, I wasn't for the sake of like coming here to get warmth and stuff. Like we came here to like see everything and stuff. So it's been pretty cool from that standpoint. But dude, the sun. Okay, I gotta show you guys this. So like I apply sunscreen, was doing it regularly because I was like, this is no joke. Like it's hot as hell here. I'm like, I'm gonna get cooked. We were on the beach all day yesterday. I fell asleep and I forgot about one thing. So you cover everything with sunscreen, right? What happens when you close your eyes and fall asleep on the beach?
No way.
Dude, my eyes are fucked. It's fucked.
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that before in my life.
It's so fucked. So like I'm okay like everywhere else. Like I got like some decent sun here and like a decent tan. And I didn't even realize, man, like my whole face was like kind of red. Yes, like red, I want to say. Like, you know, when you get the initial like sun and tan stuff. So you shower, get ready for dinner. I'm like, oh yeah, like I got some sun for sure. Put some moisturizer, aloe, everything on. I'm good. Wake up this morning. I'm like, holy fuck, I can't open my eyes. Like, what the hell? Like, and my girlfriend's like, wow, your eyes are like really puffy and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like maybe I'm having like an allergic reaction or something. I go to the shower or go to the washroom, and I'm just like, what the hell happened? I've been putting aloe on my eyes all day. Like I have like cold water bottles, putting it on, and this shit is fucked, boys.
Wow, you are legitimately in one right now. AC Parker 13 writes in the chat. It's a really astute point, bro. Why wouldn't you have sunglasses on while sleeping on a beach? That is a really good question from AC Parker.
No, because no, that's not a good question. That's a dumb question, AC Parker.
I love it.
Because if I sleep with my sunglasses on, then I'm gonna wake up with like sunglass tan on my face. Like, you know when those people come back from like a ski trip and they're just got the goggle line and they look insane? I'm like, I can't have that. So like that's why I took it off, because I need to make sure that like I got evenly tanned everywhere. I can't have sleep. You can't sleep with your sunglasses on. That would also be nuts because I would just have white circles around my face.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Vic, you want to add to this conversation?
Yeah, I just want to know what's worse. Like, do you have now you have to wear your sunglasses the entire rest of your trip because you wouldn't want anyone seeing that, do you?
No, I look nuts. Like I don't know what to do. But so, yeah, I'm just ripping aloe. Like basically today has been so we're also like leaving early tomorrow morning to go to the next spot. Like we went Porto for a couple of days, which was sick. We went to Lisbon and then we got here. We're in Albufeira right now. And we've been here for 3 days and we leave tomorrow morning early. So today we're just chilling and stuff anyways, like just gonna have a nice dinner or whatever. But like I've been basically in the shade all day. Like if you get like a regular sunburn, like you can kind of just deal with it or whatever. But it's like you can't it's like with your eyelids, you can't reapply sunscreen because it'll just irritate it and ruin your day. So like I'm shades. I've been wearing a hat for the most part. Like it's like I'm fighting it, boys. I'm fighting it. That's
Yeah,
the
we could
honest
tell.
answer.
We could tell. In support of Sick Kids, Tammy writes in via super chat, "Happy birthday to our favorite lobster." But funny you say that. For anybody who's played the NHL video game the last 5 to 7 years, to be a pro when you make like a sort of a cool looking person, that's you right now because you got the mullet going, the tucked in sides, and now just I don't know what's going on with the eyelids, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're
Shit's
cooked.
fucked.
Oh my!
Oh
Put
my
those
God.
glasses back on. I thought that was your
I know.
reaction to Ryan Reaves getting traded. You're like you got in one when you found out Revo got traded, but I guess it happened overnight. What was your response to the Reaves trade?
Yeah, I think it's good work by Tree Living. Like that's the type of contract that it feels like Dubas would have like I don't know, call him out, throw him under the bus here, but it feels like that's a contract or a player or a situation that would have been like Ryan Reaves traded to whoever and oh there's a third round pick attached to it because you got to get rid of this. And I'm like, I read the headline. It's like Ryan Reaves traded. So once I figure out how to open my goddamn eyes this morning, then the next thing I'm like trying to read this, and it's like we got a player back. I think it's just tidy work by Tree Living. I was listening to you guys earlier, so like off the top, like I don't think that this is sending a message here. I mean, I appreciate everybody online thinking that because I've been reading Twitter today, but realistically, like I just think that trade was probably in the works for a bit, and he knew Reaves wanted to get to 1,000 games. I think that's more what it is, and it's also like you want to get to 1,000 games. You're not gonna do it here. Like they didn't even play him. They waived him, and he's playing in the AHL. Like it's over. Your time here is done. I think it's tidy work. I think it's a good job. Who knows? Maybe this kid finds something. Like Vic was pointing out Benoit. Like I don't know. He might not be Benoit, but maybe like there's a chance. Maybe he's just in the wrong spot or playing the wrong systems or just around the wrong people. Like it's a very possible, I guess I should say, that there's some upside and you dumped Ryan Reaves in that contract. Like it's just a good job by Tree Living. I gotta give him some credit here. I feel like he's done some pretty clean moves here, whether it's the trades, the signings, where it's just not been anything over the top. You're not looking at stuff and going, wow, that's an overpayment, or I can't believe you had to do that in that situation. And he opened up 300K in cap space as well. Like I thought it was a pretty good job.
Zach, if you had to guess, not what you want, but what you think is the next move, because obviously we all want that first line right winger, but I don't know if that's available right now. So what do you think is the next move?
Well, I kind of get the feeling that there's going to be more unloading first here. I don't know about you guys. Like, I think before they can go and do any type of move, regardless of a trade, if it's signing Roslovic, like whatever the next thing is, I think that they're going to have to. I think that they're going to dump somebody because the other part of it is not just cap, but where do all these guys fit? Like, who if you've got Nick Waugh, Tavares, Matthews, Lawton, look, where is David Kampf playing? He's not a winger. He wasn't really that great at towards the end of the year. It didn't seem like he was one of Berube's favorites. Like it just kind of feels like him, Yarncroke, like those are the kinds of pieces that they might try to move off of because even though the cap's going up, like they are eating up some of this cap. So it just kind of feels like there's going to be cleaning of that, like some house cleaning stuff that goes on before they go out and try to do anything else, if there is another move coming.
How you celebrating your birthday?
We got dinner at some nice restaurant. I don't know if you guys have heard of this app. It's called Belly. Um, it's it's like you review food. You can like everybody goes on there and just like reviews food and like puts pictures of shit. My girlfriend loves this. Like she loves trying new restaurants and everything and like getting whatever's recommended nearby. So there was some like highly recommended restaurant near here. It's like a lot of seafood and some steak and shit like that. Gonna do that. Dinner, probably sit down. This place is interesting, boys. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Albufeira, or if you've been here, but this is where like everybody from the UK comes to vacation, and I we walked around the first night after dinner. It's fucking nuts. Like we did the Nashville trip, and you know how you just walk in and out of bars, like that's what it is. But the bars are stacked on top of each other here in a way where it's like you could basically touch one side of the wall, like one side of the street, and then touch the other side, like just by spreading your arms. And it is jammed with British people who are just like you think I'm burnt. You should see these people. Like they are like you could tell what parts of their body got sunscreen and what didn't because they are the whitest. Like they're vanilla ice cream and strawberry ice cream. Like it's not even Neapolitan. It's vanilla and strawberry, and they're walking around everywhere. But they've got like pubs and playing sports and stuff everywhere here. Guinness everywhere. So probably dinner and have a beer and then shut it down because I got early travel arrangements tomorrow. So that's tomorrow's a travel day, but
I know what that's like.
It's a good spot.
A lot of requests in the chat for you to go to Scotland next because there's not much sun there, so you won't have to bout with the sun.
Yeah, I'm pretty good with the sun. I'm pretty good with the sunscreen and everything. It's literally just my eyelids. Like I've never experienced this in my life. It is a complete and utter disaster. There's no other way to put it. I'm the criticism is more than fair, but like it's just my eyelids. Like I don't even know. That's like this. That I was so mad this morning too. I'm like, this is the stupidest fucking burn of all time. Like, are you kidding me? I get my eyelids burnt. Like I come here and I'm like, I'm gonna be so diligent about this sunscreen, and my eyelids get burnt. Are you fucked? What is this shit? But whatever. Trip's been great. Otherwise,
you've got that
great.
real weekend at
enough of that.
Bernie's vibe. You've got that weekend at Bernie's vibe. You got to watch the movie though, Vic. He hasn't seen the movie.
Yeah. How have you not seen Weekend at Bernie's?
I don't know. I was never really like a big movie guy growing up, so I didn't really watch that. I think I've seen Miracle on Ice and Moneyball.
Okay.
Probably like 200 times each.
You were too busy tracking Mitch Marner's career, I
think. Yeah. By the way, quickly, that Reaves comment about like, oh, people are hard on him because he's from here. This is like, sorry, like I've appreciated what Reaves did and what he brought in the room and like his interviews and everything. That's the stupidest comment. Like, I'm sorry, it just is. It's not because he's from here that he got like people were hard on him. Like John Tavares is from here. People are not nearly the same on John Tavares. Like people are critical, but as Vic pointed out, Leafs fans are smart, and like for the most part, the people here know hockey well. It's not like a criticism of his play and everything like that. It's a criticism. Yeah, him being from here was part of it, but it was because he went to war with us here and he was from here. Like if some other guy, if like Austin Matthews decided to go to war with Leafs fans the way that Marner did, like people would still do the same shit and be pissed at him. But it's because Mitch is from here that it hurt more. Like that's why Leafs fans were so much more over the top when it came to him doing shit, in my opinion, at least. So I just think that Reaves comment was like, I get it, like you're protecting your guy, you're a big like players like advocate and stuff. Like, okay, sure. But I just think it's wrong. I think it's misguided. I don't think it was fair to Leafs fans for that to be something that was thrown out by him on his way out.
I just thought it was weird that he's actively selling a guy who's leaving your team, and it just showed me the writing was on the wall. Like who does that, and then just goes on a podcast and talks about selling him on the city, taking him up for dinner. We all know Reaves lives out in Vegas. But last question before we let you go, I want to get you on with your birthday here. Years ago, I think I set the record for darts hacked in a Euro trip. I still recall I started in Europe. I bought a carton. This thing didn't make it past Mykonos, dude. I hacked a carton of bellies in 4 days in Mykonos. Where are you at right now with the darts?
We everybody just smokes everywhere here.
I know.
It's nuts. Like I didn't really think about that.
Yeah.
We definitely picked up a pack. I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker, but I like picked it up and we're like, we got to give it a shot here. We got to do it. If everybody's doing it,
everybody's doing
we'll
it. Let's
fire up a dart. Yeah, like you're sitting at your table and it's like the table next to you. Both people have it. The table in front of you, everybody's got it. So it's like,
gotta hack.
It's the culture. Like we're here, you got to experience it. So picked up a pack.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for checking in. Hope you're having a fantastic birthday. Say hi to your lovely girlfriend, Andrea. Great view. And the folks in the chat want to see the eyelids before you head out here.
Look at that. Just going to get some more aloe after this and figure it out. It's a mess, boys. It's a fucking disaster.
Keep battling it out there, buddy. Keep battling. We'll see you soon, okay?
Will do. See you, boys. See you, chat.
There is Zack Phillips out in Portugal, and if you missed the story, he found a way to burn his eyelids. He fell asleep on the beach without his sunglasses on, and now he's burnt in the weirdest spot imaginable.
I literally don't think I've ever seen that before on anybody in my entire life. Ever.
He has like the opposite raccoon eyes. Like it's crazy.
I've never seen that. Have you seen anyone burn their eyelids before? Like ever?
No, but like not really. But like, I mean, he's talking about how he looks outlandish. The guy has like a mullet and like trim sides. Like he fits the part. I think this is a perfect look for Zack.
Baked.
Yeah, exactly. Like let the chest hair flow a bit, hack those darts, have a time. Portugal's great. Headed down to Europe in about a month from now. Lisbon's on the spot. Portugal's a great spot. So great to hear from Zack Phillips. And that's the type of insight you're not going to find in a lot of shows. Like we went right to the source to break down the Ryan Reaves trade, and he gave us a great answer. So appreciate that from Zack Phillips here, Producer Vic.
Zack's the best. We've missed him. We only see him on the sheet now. No more Leafs talk. They try to censor the Leafs talk as much as they can because they need to talk about the entire NHL on that show.
Don't worry. After Dark is coming back next year. And I can't find this super chat. I thought it was good. And my apologies. Oh, there it is. In support of Sick Kids, this super chat from Pero Kukic. He's got to be Croatian or Serbian, around those lines. Battle of the brows for today's podcast, LOL. I would have to concur with that, Vic. I don't know. I think you win it. Yours are a bit thicker, but I got some great puppies too.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually there's only one of them. So, before the show started, before the show started, we had to separate them, cut them in half.
Vic, I know I've brought this up on the podcast before. I got a brow girl. Like this is a big development in my life. My girl Nita does my brows about, once every 3 months. Dude, this is life-changing stuff. Do you have a brow girl or do you just use your wife?
I don't. No, I don't. I do it myself, honestly.
Okay.
Like, I don't care. I just do the middle. I don't shape them or nothing.
Vic, I'm telling you, go. I'll give you the spot I go. Go do it once and you tell me how you feel. There's a very good feel coming out of that. I'm just telling you.
I'm afraid I'll like it too much and then continue to go. And I don't want to keep spending money.
Like full disclosure, man. Like last time I went, it's like $23 a time you go.
Oh, that's actually not bad. That's not bad.
Last time I bought like a bar tab, it's called. So it's like I paid for 7 in advance and I saved a couple bucks on the other side.
Oh,
but last time I went, my girl Nita almost talked me into like really getting into it, like going thinner. And at the last second, I was like, I can't do this. And because I got bullied in my YouTube chat. So
yeah, exactly.
I just want to clean them up. Make sure they look okay, and then maybe if 2 less people chirp my eyebrows on a daily basis, we feel better about life. But I've always wanted to know if you got the job done.
At least I can deflect some of that for you today. 50-50 split now,
I like it. Thank you, Vicky. At the Leafs Nation 401, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. A couple other things I wanted to get to before we wrapped here on the Frisky Friday edition. We have Take It or Leaf It coming up too.
Yep.
A lot of NHL news yesterday. Nothing official, but I'm a bit stunned as somebody who was in LA for the decentralized draft, the first ever of its kind. It sounds like we're running it back, and we hate that phrase in this market, but it sounds like NHL GMs voted in favor of keeping the decentralized draft format for next season. I'm in the middle on this. I thought there are ways you can clean things up. For instance, like I love my girl Stormy Bonatoni out there in Vegas, but I don't need those awkward interviews with the teams, more specifically, not even what Stormy did, but more so with the teams. Just like make the pick, move on, make the pick, move on. So I think you can clean it up. But from my perspective, as somebody who likes going to the drafts and these things and having everybody in the same building and seeing all the GMs talk, I'm a bit shocked that it's not coming back. What'd you think?
I hate it. I hated it. The only positive I can take from this is this year's showed us exactly what not to do. So hopefully they learned something from that. Yeah, those awkward Zoom calls with the GMs after the pick is just ridiculous. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I've never been to a draft, but I've always wanted to. And the reason I wanted to is because I've always wanted to see all those GMs crowded up at their tables. And then you go sit there and you tweet, oh, Brad Treliving went over and talked to so-and-so. Oh, Kyle Dubas went over and talked to so-and-so. So, I mean, losing that part of it sucks. And everything about this year's draft absolutely sucked.
Dude, the old drafts used to have like a cuck fence, I used to call it, where all the media and fucking Pagnotta front and center, like this guy, we'd have to go like 18 hours before the draft and just consume what we're seeing. Two dudes just probably talking about their golf game.
Yeah.
But there was a fence set up, and then there's the whole draft floor. Honestly, I'm just ragging Pagnotta. It was a lot of fun. You get to just like see random stuff. Like, let's say Tree's talking to like Steve Yzerman. You see it right in front of you. They're like steps away. And again, they could be talking about anything and everything, but it's just a speculation standpoint. I thought it was a bit different, but I think they just need to find a way to move things along. Like, I didn't know Gary Bettman was a host. I watched this year's draft. He's hosting the first 30 minutes of the draft. He actually did a pretty damn good job, but just make the pick, move on. The other thing I would love to see, like when you make a trade, you know who you're picking up. Okay, you don't need to wait 5 minutes. If you are trading for a draft pick, you know who you're selecting. Make your fucking pick and move on. Okay.
Yeah. So why do the next 6 rounds of the draft fly by? Why is the first round that slow? It doesn't make sense to me. Is there like, are they doing it for TV? Are they doing it for ads? It doesn't make sense. Watch the 4th round of the draft on NHL Network. It's pick. Oh, there's a trade. Boom, boom, boom. And they go and they go. Another thing, stop with the celebrities picking for you. So we have to announce them and bring them out. They get a round of applause. Stop with that shit too. Get Gary up there with the second pick. They take to him. Move on. There's so many ways to make it faster.
Well, I would say, like, as somebody who was there at the draft, I did want to see the celebrities, the thing that was buried about these celebrities. I didn't realize, like, Nikki Glaser was going to be in St. Louis, not on the stage in Los Angeles. I would love to see Nikki Glaser in person. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. But if anything, I'm rattled a bit. But if they can clean things up from what we saw this year, I think we're in a good spot. And I would start with those interviews. Like, those were so cringe. And we often joke behind the scenes about the latency on this podcast. Shout out Nick Caroli. We're in a really, really good spot with this pod. But some of the reports, like, how are you doing today? I'm doing well. Like, it's a 17-second delay. And it's like, this is the NHL. I understand there's a lot of that goes, into putting something like this on. But you can clean up a lot. And I hope there's a crack staff in place just to figure this thing out. The other thing I wanted to get to, according to multiple reports, a new provision in the CBA will allow each NHL team to place one 19-year-old CHL player in the AHL per season. Begins in 26-27. 18-year-olds are not eligible. Where was this for Easton Cowan is my question.
Yeah, that sucks. But I do like it because we've had this a couple times, I think, where I wanted to see, like, Ben Danford, I would have liked to see play with, just because of his style of play, like how he would handle the AHL game. He's more of a rugged guy, more of a strength guy, where he's going to, I mean, for lack of a better term, bully some of the kids in the OHL, where the AHL is more men, tougher game for him. So I would have liked to see him in the A as well. But yeah, where is that for Easton Cowan? He's like the prototypical guy, but about time. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, I agree. I like a lot has changed. It feels like in the outer world this summer, even in the last couple of weeks with the whole college announcement, how much different that's going to look. But that was sort of my one criticism from the AHL perspective. As a player like Cowan, like I love that he won the Memorial Cup and had a phenomenal season, but he was just a perfect example of a player who was just better than everybody else in the CHL and probably could have benefited from one strong season at a younger age in the American Hockey League. And that's probably where he ends up next year. I know there's some expectation that Cowan's going to try and crack this roster. I think he's got a shot. Right now, if you ask me, probably not. And I think they should probably take the same approach they did with Fraser Minted last year, right?
Yeah, that would be exactly. Hopefully there's not a trade at the end of that, because I do have high hopes for the Cowan kid, but there isn't much in terms of trade capital on the team left. So I hope they can hang on to him, but also add somehow. There's more there for Cowan, I think. I do think they have something, but yeah, don't rush it. We've seen guys get rushed and struggle before, so I don't want to ruin the kid's confidence.
Rick Latour writes in the chat, this is great. You guys are two idiots. Okay. And Colin M writes in, while spelling idiot wrong. So if you're going to call us idiots, I mean, spell idiot right. That's an easy word to spell. Idiot.
We are both idiots. Like, I agree.
I'm
with
an amateur. Look behind me.
What? Like, I want to know what brought that comment on specifically. Did he? I mean, is it something we said about the draft or something? I don't know. My understanding is maybe he's a big Henry Thrun guy. Yeah, and he thought we're talking down Henry Thrun, which we're not. I mean, he's an 8-9 guy. Anyways, take it or leave it. Are you ready for this, Producer Vic? Yeah, let's do it.
You guys know the drill by now. Take it. If you think it's going to happen, leave it. No. Number one. The Leafs will acquire a top 6 forward by October 1st. Take it or leave it, Producer Vic.
I'm going to leave it, unless you want to count Jack Roslovic as a top 6 player. I mean, to me, he's like a second, third line guy, not a legitimate top 6 guy. So I'm going to leave it. And the reason I'm going to leave it might surprise you. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. And I think Brad is looking to add a power play quarterback. And that's where I think the cap that we have left is going. So I also believe that Henry Thrun acquisition was more because I think Simon Benoit is on his way out.
Ooh, is that right?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is just that's where my head went immediately when I saw that they acquired Henry Thrun. You have Riley, you have OEL, and you have McCabe on the left side. Benoit's kind of in the middle there, and I think his value will never be higher than it is right now. 2 years left, 1.35 per. He had an incredible playoffs. He showed he could do everything, and I love him, so I hope he's not going, but I do think he might have some value around the league. So that's where my head went immediately.
They're calling you Vicard Wallin now in the chat. No, I made that up right now. With that take, you're Vicard Wallin. No, yeah. I don't want to even manifest that, but I know what you're saying. That's like, it makes a lot of sense. It's very, very valid. I think we're overseeing this thing. I'm gonna leaf it. I think they're gonna slow play this process. I could see a world where the Maple Leafs have $5 million in cap space to start the year, maybe like $4 million. I think they're gonna sign one of these guys, whether it's Olofsson or Jack Roslovic, just to add a bit more depth. But I think this is going to be a reoccurring storyline throughout the season. Can they add a top 6 forward? And we're going to play it up all the way until the deadline. Then Crosby's going to become available. We're going to get that name out there. We're going to do our whole little segment. Should the Leafs trade for Sidney Crosby? Like, I'm forecasting into the future because we all know that's happening. You take a look at what Pittsburgh's fucking doing the last couple of days and couple months. They're looking for Gavin McKenna. And rest assured, the story is now open on Sidney Crosby. That's all I'll say. I was at the draft. I think there's a bit of smoke to that fire. I don't know when it happens. Maybe it's around the draft. Maybe it's next summer. But I think, just my gut feel, I think something happens at some point in time with Sidney Crosby. And I still think he's earmarked for Colorado. But rest assured, we're going to have that segment on this show, on this podcast. Should the Leafs trade for Sidney Crosby. Number 2, Nick Robertson will be on Toronto's opening night roster. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take it. I think he'll be on the roster. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup, but I think he'll be on the roster. There's another thing. I think he had a decent season last year where he could put the puck in the net. So try to build him up again. And like I said, if what you said happens and they have that cap space, you're going to have to make a trade down the line. So build him up, give him whatever he needs, give him soft minutes, let him score some goals, and hopefully you can flip him for something at the deadline.
Vic, they've been trying to build this guy up for 7 years now, I think. Something like my math is probably off, but I've got to go with Leaf It. Considering I just saw Ryan Reaves get traded for an asset named Henry Thrun. Great name, again. I think there's going to be somebody who steps up who, A, needs to add some money from a cap point of view, and B, needs to add some offense. And I think it's going to be just the perfect match. And they're going to see Nick Robertson there and say, like, we need an NHL body, a guy who can play in our middle six, maybe on our top line if he has a hot year. I think they're going to make the deal. Toronto's not going to get a lot, and they're just going to move on. I think again, going into last year, I understood why they kept him. You have a new coach. Let's see how he fits into this system. And it was the same thing that we saw under Sheldon Keefe. He had pockets of really good play. He's just not big enough. He doesn't translate to what Craig Berube is selling up front. I mean, the guy can't change, even if he went on a crazy-ass diet and he ate 3 million calories a day. He's just not a big dude. He just doesn't fit what they're trying to do. So I think I'm gonna leaf it. I think Nick Robertson is dealt between now and the start of the regular season. And the third and final one, Morgan Riley, will play out the balance of his contract with the Maple Leafs. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take it, and I'm going to take it because I love the guy. That's why I'm going to take it. I love the guy. He struggled. Oh, go read our YouTube chat right now. Morgan Riley sucks, probably written 1,000 times. I love the guy. I would like to see a guy start his career and end his career at Toronto Maple Leaf. I don't remember the last time I saw that. It would be super cool. I hope he can find his game, and I hope he remains a Maple Leaf, and it's not because he didn't wave. It's because he turned his game around.
It's not a hope game, though. Take it or leave it.
I'm taking it.
Okay.
I'm taking it. He will turn his game around. How about that?
Fair enough. And leave it too. Leave it for me. I love Morgan Riley. You guys know this in 3 years doing the podcast. Like, the one guy I have trouble ripping on is Morgan Riley. But, I mean, you got to call a spade a spade. His game is nowhere close to the game it was when the guy signed the contract. And he just has not fit in with this team. And now you add in Craig Berube. He's not really that physical type defenseman. He's not great defensively. He's not really getting the job done offensively. So what are you doing for $7.5 million per season? But I think, again, that's another example of a vibe guy who is so monumental, the longest tenured Leaf. You take him off that roster, that's another way to strike that team, right? And I don't want to instill sort of that mentality with this team, but that's a way to rock the boat. I don't know if it's going to happen this summer, as Pagnotta intimated yesterday. There was a couple conversations had after the season. Doesn't sound like anything's going to happen there, but I think we're going to get to a point, again, this year will be big if Riley gets there, where it's like put up or shut up time. If not, then you've got to find a way to just do it and move on. And I just think you look at the possibilities, we'll see over the next couple of years, and the way they're trying to reimagine this roster. You can't forget, this is not a tree living guy. He inherited Morgan Riley. He's been here for a long time. I hope it doesn't happen, but I'm going to leave it, Vicky.
Well, that's fair. And I think a lot of the chat agrees with you as well. They're not really Morgan Riley fans, but I mean, I've seen him at his best, and he's the one guy that after the season, he always was holding himself accountable. He's the one guy that he knows how to handle this market. He's the one guy. And again, he outscored Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner in the playoffs this year. He scored crazy. I think he scored 4 playoff goals again. Like, I know he's not the best defensively, but he always seems to step up when this team needs a big goal. He was incredible in that Tampa series when they finally got over the hump. He's just, when there is a moment, when this team takes a step, it's always his face. I always see his face. He's always got the black eyes in the playoffs too. He's a warrior.
Yeah.
I love him. I just hope. I mean, I hope he can turn it around.
Yeah, I'm with you on the hope game too. I hope so as well. And that's why I have trouble dogging Morgan Rielly, because it just seems like every time they need somebody to step up, whether it's getting into a fight,
Ridley
getting
Gregg,
into it with
he got the
Ottawa.
cross check. Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Ridley Gregg fucked around. He found out, and it was Morgan Rielly. I mean, this is a roster with a couple guys who could have dropped the gloves, but it was Morgan Rielly. He just always seems to step up to the occasion, and quite a leader is Morgan Rielly. So we hope his career takes a turn for the best next season. It's time now for the last call, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use code NATION. That's NATION, NATION. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connexontario.ca. Vicky, you got a bet for us today?
Yeah, last series before the All-Star break. So I'm going to take the Jays on the money line. The run line today. I think they play in Sacramento now, the Oakland A's.
Yep.
Max Scherzer on the bump. So yeah, let's take the Blue Jays. They are red hot.
They're going to Vegas. I think that's 2 years away, but the Oakland A's, now Sacramento A's, are going to Vegas in a couple of years. That's going to be interesting. And we saw it firsthand in Vegas. Remember we went there in June for the draft last year and how hot it was? Better be a dome.
So Mitch Marner, you think he's going to be a Vegas A's fan? You're going to see him at all the throwing out the first pitch and ceremonial first pitches
all
and
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
All that.
Well, if you recall, Vic, like early on in his tenure in Toronto, he was doing batting practice. He was at games and then just off the map. So looking forward to next week for a variety of reasons. July 16th is Jay Rosehill's birthday.
Yep.
I've reached out to the Shen brothers. They have declined, by the way, to come on the show. They're busy. I was like, okay. I wanted to surprise Rosie. It's not going to happen. We do roll on. But also the schedule comes out July 16th, a.k.a. Rosie's birthday, and that's integral because we'll begin to map out the second ever nation vacation. And as we've talked about before, the leading contender is Sin City on the road to watch the Leafs take on Mitch Marner on the road for the very first time. We had Bruce Cassidy on earlier this week. Maybe he tipped the hand, maybe he hinted a bit that Marner's homecoming could come relatively early in the season, whether that's October or November, but it'll be fun next week to find out when that game is. Hopefully it's on a weekend. I would do it a Saturday night in Sin City. Imagine that.
Hall of Fame night, my birthday weekend. Let's do it, baby. November 11th, every year.
I think I'm busy I think my buddy's getting married that weekend, so I hope it's not that weekend. I'll just put that out. I'll manifest that out there. That would be the worst case scenario because I got to be at this wedding.
Yeah, my wedding was during a Leaf Oiler game. I got shit on for that, but it was.
I thought it was hilarious because you're like you kind of pinned and you were doing your speech. You're like, how are the Leafs doing? And I yelled out, I'm like, they're leading. That's when they went full diarrhea mode. I think they won it in OT, right?
Yeah, or late. Yeah, something like that. They were up 4-0 and almost blew it. I don't even, or maybe they did blow it. I don't remember. But they won.
Great time of your wedding.
They won.
They won. They did win. Vic, stand-up job. We're going to have to do this more often. It's great to see you on the sheet. Great to see you here on Leafs One to Take, stepping up to the plate, doing your thing, rising up. And have a great weekend, okay? Anything planned or what?
No, celebrate Zach's birthday, but not.
You're gonna FaceTime him?
Yeah, we'll just drink together from different.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out tonight, and they're like, "What's the occasion?" Oh, it's my buddy's birthday, but he's in Portugal. Can I have a cake?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the game plan. Vic, great job. At least we had a bit of news to talk about this week in the form of Ryan Reaves becoming a San Jose Shark. Again, go check out the video with me and Jay Roseville at the Leafs Nation 401. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Just to wrap, J-Rock writes in Brazilian wax for Vic. That's what they want from you, a Brazilian wax. We'll do a duo one. Maybe we can get a deal if we go combo. Actually, that was another convo I had with my girl Nita. She only does upper half. She's trying to talk me into doing my back, but she only does upper half because me, like I'm comfortable around people. I was like, how often does it happen where men come in and they want their bodies waxed? And she's like, more than you think. And I'm like, a lot of straight dudes apparently too, which is a bit of a stunner.
You wouldn't believe it by looking at me, but I have zero back hair. So I left on that one. Zero. None. Love it. Sorry to the folks listening.
You're an absolute stud. That is producer Vic. Jay Rosehill back in the mix on Monday. I book ahead on this show. We have Utah Mammoth GM Bill Armstrong dropping by on Monday's show to break down the Matias Michelli trade. So we're going to take a back dive. That's where we're at here in the offseason. We're having opposition GMs on this podcast, and we're talking Matias Michelli. So that's coming up on Monday. Yeah, Vic, you're fired up for that one. You can't wait for that clip of him talking about Matias Michelli.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know what else you're going to ask him, but I'll sure as hell tune in to find out, Nick.
Decentralized drafts. That's going to be on the docket as well with Bill Armstrong coming up on Monday. Until then, we bid you farewell at the Leafs Nation 401. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Leafs Morning Take wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review. And don't forget to visit theleafsnation.com. Happy birthday once again to Zack Phillips, who's down in Portugal. For producer Vic, I'm Nick Alberga. Have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews, we got clips, we got epic rants by Jay Roseau. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.